First things first, it's a fun warm up, little head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So stand in a nice even stance. You're gonna drop one ear to shoulder, give a little shoulder shrug, take your hands to your knees, take a little cat and cow, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail, round your back, and then roll down towards your toes, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll all the way back up. Drop one ear to shoulder, your other ear to shoulder, bring it to center, shrug your shoulders, bend your knees, hands to the knees, take one cat-cow, inhale, drop your belly, exhale, round your back, and then keep those knees bent, lower down towards your toes, pull your abdominal muscles in nice and strong from your navel center, and roll on up. Cool, do that again. Ear to shoulder, give a little shoulder shrug, bend your knees, take a little cat-cow, drop your belly, round your back, neutral spine, reach down towards your toes, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll all the way up. Nice. We got about one or two more here. Drop ear to shoulder, give a little shoulder shrug, hands to your knees, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tailbone, round your back, take it all the way down to your toes, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll all the way up. One more time. Drop ear to shoulder, give a little shoulder shrug, hands to the knees, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail, round your back, keep your knees bent, touch down to your toes, roll all the way on up, and then just take a nice big reach up to the sky, just a little stretch, maybe a little back bend, hips come forward, chest lifts up. Nice, and then lower your arms down. We're gonna get the pace going a little bit. So we're gonna take opposite hand to opposite foot, and then same hand, same foot as you come behind. So opposite hand touch in the front, and then the same hand as you reach back. And then just go as fast as you like. So as you come through the front, you get a little external rotation of your leg, touch to the inside of the foot, and then work your brain a little bit. Keep it same hand as you just bend your knee for a little butt kicker behind you. Nice. And now to trick your brain, switch it, same hand in the front, opposite in the back, opposite in the back. Whoops, I almost missed it. 8 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, step your feet out nice and wide. And we're just gonna start by bending the knees. So dip one knee and then the other. Check in here, just notice how are your knees feeling? How do your hips feel? How do your feet feel? And then if things are feeling good, take it just a little bit deeper and maybe you touch to the inside of your foot. But if your knees and your hips are asking for a little bit of a lighter work, be more mindful, stay upright. You stay in the position that feels the best to you. But if all is feeling good, reach towards the inside of the foot. You got 30 seconds left here. Six seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. Come on up, shake out your legs, grab your hand weights. Light or heavy, it's going to be totally up to you. As I'm traveling, I just brought one set of hand weights with me, but I'm a little regretful because I wish I had my heavier weights. Okay, so it's going to be palms facing down or palms facing backwards. We're going to keep the elbows kind of hugged in at the side. Bring it to a half of a curl, swing it out, pull it back in, lower it with control. We're going to keep the palms facing down the whole entire time. And then once you feel like you've got it down, you're going to work at your pace. You're going to check in here and just make sure that feels like a good rotation for the shoulders. And if you need to loosen up your elbows a little bit for the shoulder rotation, do what feels the best to you there so that there's no pinching or cramming up in your shoulders. Beautiful. Keep those palms facing down. Come to that half curl and then swing it out. Nice. You're already halfway there. If you're working with lighter weights, you might choose to pick up the pace just a little bit. If you're working with heavier weights, just be mindful if you start to pick up the pace that you're keeping it in a safe range of motion and you have good control. 7 seconds left. And time, awesome. Stick with those weights. And now we're gonna take it into a wide grip overhead press, but we're gonna alternate sides. So think about making those nice cactus arms or goalpost arms. One hand presses up and then the other. We got 1 minute on the clock. While you're doing that work right away, you're gonna check in. If you feel like your chest and your ribs are puffing up to help you make that maneuver happen, you might opt to go for a lower weight. But if you can keep that nice stable center and you're just pushing one hand up towards the ceiling and the other, and all is feeling good, you can pick up the pace a little bit, making sure that it's a nice controlled movement and your shoulder feels good about it. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your center, just so that your low back feels happy and your hips stay nice and stable and your feet are evenly grounded. Nice, you guys, beautiful. 15 seconds left. And time, awesome. We're gonna stick with those weights or switch to a heavier one because we're gonna be working into our squats. So if you wanna go heavier here, we're gonna load our weights up at our shoulders, step your feet so they're about shoulder width distance apart and turn your toes out slightly. We wanna make a little room to sink the butt down and then rise back up. And that's all you gotta do. Nice deep squat, set your butt down and back, and then come up with control. Go as fast or slow as feels good to you here, but check those inner thighs, check your knees. Make sure your knees are happy about this position. And then if you need to stay a little lighter, you're just gonna bend down as far as you can control. But if it feels good to dip your butt way down, you do the variation that you like best here. Ten seconds left. And time, awesome. Keep those weights, stay in a standing position. And now we're gonna keep our weights down at our sides and start a little shoulder bump. So it's a bit of a bicep curl, but now you're taking your weight slightly across the midline of your body, over towards your opposite shoulder. We got 1 minute on the clock, as fast or slow as you like. If you're working with heavier weights, slow it down, make it mindful. If you're working with lighter weights, once you've got it down, elbows are happy about this movement, go ahead and go a little faster. And again, you want to keep that little firmness in your belly. So most of the work is coming out of the bicep, the tricep, and maybe a tiny bit of work up in that shoulder. Nice, you guys. "17 seconds left. And time, awesome. Now we're back to our squats. We're gonna add on and add an overhead press. So back to that wider position, toes slightly turned out, loaded up at the shoulders, sink into your little squat. And as you come up, add that overhead press. If your shoulders don't like that straight up and overhead press, you're gonna push it right straight out in front of your face so that your shoulders don't get cranky. But if all is feeling good, just arms right up alongside the ears, and then set your butt down and back. Keep a little chest lift, a little chin lift as you lower your butt down. Weight comes back into your heels. Nice. And then just check your belly and your ribs on that overhead press. If your belly and your chest are puffing up to help make that maneuver happen, your weights might be a little too heavy and you might want to dial it back. But if all feels good and you're not even getting fatigued, you might want to consider taking up some heavier weights. 10 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. All right, from here, we're going to take it into a staggered stance. So step your right foot slightly back, load it up at the shoulders. As you set your butt down like a little squat, you're going to push your weight straight out from the shoulders, pull them in as you rise up. So it's a staggered stance squat. We got 30 seconds on this side. One leg back, sit your butt down, weight straight out from the chest, and then pull it back in. Nice. And switch feet. Step your other foot back. Same maneuver here. Set your butt down and back. Weight straight out from the shoulders. Beautiful. Nine seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Come on up. Shake everything out just to make sure we're on the same page. Okay, we're back to that right leg back. And now we're going to take it into a little lunge. Your left hand is just going to stay loaded at the shoulder, the leg that's behind you. As you dip your knee down, you're going to take it and bump it right between the space in your shoulder blades, and then press it up as you rise up just a little bit. So it's a little knee dip lunge with that press. So left hand is loaded at the shoulder, right hand is up, dip your knee, reach between the space of your shoulders, rise up. You got it. Nice. Nice control of your center. Beautiful, you guys. And time. Awesome job. Step that leg in, give everything a good shake. And now we got to take that to the other side. So the other leg is going to step back into that lunge position. Right hand's going to stay loaded at the shoulder. Left hand up and overhead. We dip down, reach between the shoulder blades, rise back up, and work through the tricep, or try to find that work through the tricep as you press that arm up and overhead. Beautiful. Nice. So we get that little bend in, hand comes between the shoulder blades, and then work through the tricep as you press your hand up and overhead. Five seconds left. You got this. Woo! And when you're ready, rise up, shake those legs out, shake out your arms. All right, from here, we're going to take it into a wide stance. I'm turned backwards just so you can see what my arms got going on. So you're going to find a sumo squat and you're going to hold that there. From here, bottom hand palm faces out, top hand palm faces it, and then we're gonna switch. So we bend those elbows, bring in the weights behind the back, and then switch and take it to the other side. All the while, keeping that nice sumo squat, butt sunk nice and low, alternating between the arms. Keep a nice firmness in your center. Yes, beautiful. Keep this one fairly slow and controlled. So you work through the rotation of your shoulders without compromising or causing any pinching in the shoulder blades. Ten seconds left. And time. Woo! Rise up, shake your legs out, stick with those weights. We're gonna stay in a wide stance and we're gonna take it from side to side. So you're gonna come over to one side, start the lawnmower, give a little row, take both arms, rainbow overhead, pivot your feet, take it to the other side. One row, start the lawnmower, and then we rainbow over to the other side. Feet are gonna pivot so you get a little turnout of the bent knee that you're leaning into. Give a single arm row, and then swing those arms up and overhead as you pivot the feet. As you lean over for that lawnmower pull, keep a little bit of an engagement in your back and your belly. So we're not laying the body onto the thigh, but keeping control as we keep it slightly lifted away from the thigh. Give a little row, work through that lat and the back muscles, and then swing it up and overhead. Nice. 17 seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. Come on up. Give everything a good solid shake. Switch to lighter weights if you're using heavy ones here. We're going to keep the arms up and overhead. First 20 seconds, arms are staying up overhead, and we're just lifting our knees up. So alternate a little march as you keep those arms up and overhead. If it becomes too fatiguing, set the weights down, but see if you can keep your arms up and overhead. If all is feeling good, keep a little firmness in your belly. Think about drawing your abdominal muscles in as you pull the knee up. Nice. And now from here, bend those elbows straight out from the shoulders and keep that march going. So we want to keep our elbow in line with the shoulder, a nice engagement in the shoulder heads as you keep that position, a nice steady march. Awesome, you guys, awesome work. All right, now reach those hands straight up from the shoulders and keep that march going. And time, nicely done. Switch back to heavy weights if you're switching around. We're gonna take it into deadlifts. So we're gonna keep our feet at a hip or shoulder distance. Toes and knees are now gonna be pointing forward. A little micro bend in the knees. Hip hinge, we're gonna hinge from our waist, lean over. Keep that nice strong back as you come up. And as you come up, see if you can find the work coming from the backs of your legs and your glutes. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going at your pace. A little bend in the knees, hinge from your hips, lean forward, and come right back up. Squeeze those glutes right at the top. You got it, nice. Already halfway there. And time. Awesome job. Stick with those weights. Now we're going to take it into a staggered stance deadlift and add a little butt kicker. So right foot's going to step behind you. Same maneuver, hinge from your waist, lean forward, come up. And then as you come up, you're just going to pull that back leg up toward your butt, set the toe back down, and back to that deadlift. As you rise up, hug that heel in towards your butt, get a little work in the hamstring, lower the toe down, and bend over again. We got 1 minute on the clock on this side. Take it at your pace. Find what you like to pay attention to here. You got that single leg deadlift down. You might opt to work on your balance for an extra second as you lift that right heel up and then lower the toe with control. If your balance isn't there this morning, make it a quick little butt kick and then right back down, or maybe you leave that part off altogether. But if all is feeling good, hug that heel in, get a little work in the back of the leg, and then back to that deadlift. Nice. And time. Awesome job. Shake out your standing leg, but we got to do that to the other side. So the other foot's going to step back. Find your staggered stance first. Hinge from your waist, lean forward, come up, shift your weight, hug the heel in towards your butt, toe lowers down, and away we go. You're going to work that at your pace, finding that balance or doing it super quick so you maintain your balance the whole time. Three seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Come on up. Shake everything out. And now we are going to take it into some single leg work. So if you already know your balance is not there this morning, keep your toe on the ground. But if it feels good to do so, we're going to pick one leg up, give a wrist curl, a halfway curl, and then a full bicep curl. This time we're going to keep the palms facing up. We got 1 minute on the clock. So toe on the ground or foot lifted, wrist curl, halfway curl, and then curl all the way up to the shoulders. Nice. If at any point you need to put your toe down, reset, get your balance back together, and then pick the leg up again. Do what feels right to you. With this single leg work, I find sometimes it's best if I just focus my gaze on one single point so I don't have to struggle too much to hold my balance. And time. Woo, nicely done. Shake out that standing leg. Take a second to wiggle out anything that you need to, but you know we got to do that to the other side. So standing on your other leg, find your balance, and away we go. Wrist curl, halfway curl, full bicep curl. Slow or fast, totally up to you, just depending on what level of weights you're using. And then you'll notice the faster you go, the more of a challenge it is to your balance. Keep your belly slightly firm, focus your gaze. And it's always best to have a little sense of lightheartedness when standing on one leg, because it doesn't always work out the whole time. You got 3 seconds left. You got this. And time. Set your leg down. Give everything a good solid shake. Shake out those feet. Shake out your ankles. Make sure everything is feeling good. 1 weight or 2 weights, that's going to be totally up to you. It's just depending on what level of weight you're using. We're going to hold those weights straight out from the chest with a little bend in the elbows. Knees and hips are going to stay facing forward. And you're going to find a little dip in the knees so you can rotate the torso. So we're twisting side to side, keeping those arms slightly away from the body. Use your legs as an anchor. So the knees and the hips are going to stay nice and stable. And you're going to try to find rotation from the belly button up. If holding the weight straight out from your chest feels like it's become too much, you always have the option to pull it in a little closer to the chest or leave the weights off altogether. So you find the variation there that is going to help keep you safe and happy in your shoulders. You got 5 seconds left. And time. Woo! Lowers those weights down, set them off to the side, shake out your legs. Amazing work today. Oh my goodness. Step your feet nice and wide, a nice wide configuration. Take your arms, reach them up and overhead. Take your left hand down to the side, left hand up, right hand up. Reach up alongside your ear, just get a nice little side bend. Nice, and then take it over to the other side. Drop that right hand down, left hand up. Awesome, bring it back up and bring both hands behind the back, a little interlace of the fingers, pull your arms back, bend yourself over, and just let your arms fall away from the back of your body. Stay with that bent over position, but just float your hands down to the ground, let your hands touch the floor. Awesome, and then walk over towards your right foot, let your nose soften towards your knee. Cool, and then when you're ready, take it over to the other side and let your nose soften to your knee. Beautiful, when you're ready, bring it back to center, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, step your feet in. We're gonna take the left leg, step it across the right so you get your pinky toes lined up the best you can. And then once you've got that crisscross of your feet, walk yourself down nice and slow, reach towards your toes, does not matter if you touch your toes. Cool, and then when you're ready, come up nice and slow, and then switch the crossing your legs. Step the other foot across, line up your pinky toes best you can, and then walk yourself back down nice and slow. Just go to the depth that feels good to you here. Awesome, when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Step your feet so that they're hip or shoulder width distance apart. Take a nice big breath, reach up, maybe let your chest lift, and then bend your knees a little bit, fold all the way down to the ground. Beautiful, when you're ready, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll on up, give your wrists a little shake, give your fingers a little wiggle. You guys are amazing, nice work today. Grab your big stability ball if you're sticking around. I gotta grab a paper towel and wipe the sweat off my face.